Batman the Night, issue 9, Chip Zdarsky writing with Carmine Di Domenico on the art, and Anton is definitely Ghostmaker. Just,
Yeah.
just gonna say he's not taking the name yet. Although at one point someone says something about a ghost, and I thought, is that a seed? Is that the seed for what she's going to take the name?
And basically, what we know about Ghostmaker, and that him and Bruce had this deal where, like, I'm not gonna stop you, but you can't set foot in Gotham. I feel like Chip's really building on that in this issue. You know, it shows that they are very similar, but that, you know, Bruce's integrity, or whatever you want to call it, to preserving life is what makes them different.
Yeah, Batman in his narrations constantly talking about how, like, he likes having him there as an ally, but he knows that it can't last because he's killed someone, and that he's going to keep killing people.
Yeah.
But it's all about their search for Ra's al Ghul. They're off in the desert. Their truck, blows up. It's because it's sabotaged.
Yep.
All that stuff. But they get to Raz up the mountain, and all of his ninjas are there. Talia is there. Talia even flirts at one point with Bruce and tries to kiss him, and is disappointed when he rejects that, but wants to know something else, and is like, "Oh, you disrespect one part of me, but want another." So this is very much like Raz, and we have always known that Raz in some way was looking for some sort of successor with Bruce, and here his right hand man's retiring. We find out eventually, and that one of these two he wants to replace him. And he ultimately wants Bruce and Anton to fight, but Bruce is like, no, I'm not going to do that. Obviously, Anton's game for it. So the end of the issue, the cliffhanger, is that they're going to fight to see who becomes like Ra's al Ghul's next dude. So that's what it ultimately builds up to. But there's a lot of little things along the way. I love it calling back to that issue where I think it was the French thief who said, "The world doesn't need another angry cop. Think bigger." And there's a lot of like that idea going through Bruce's head where, like, what am I going to do when I get back to Gotham? Just hunt muggers, like, with my fighting skills? So it's like kind of maybe for the first time he's starting to think about, okay, I have to be something more than just that. I have to be something bigger. I have to be something a bit more dramatic, so it feels like those thoughts are starting to seep in, which is really interesting because to me, like, the learning to fight and stuff is cool and all, but it's like where the idea to form a persona, to form the Batman, is like really fascinating to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's called the Knight because these are all pieces of armor that he's going to put on, and Batman is the Knight at that point, right? He's the fully formed, with the principles that he's learned. There's a part in here where he talks about how the last guy taught him to control his pain, but couldn't teach him how to think, right? He told him how to not think and how to not, but he couldn't teach him how to go about things. And so I do like that Bruce still has to put some stuff together on his own, and him noticing that Ra's al Ghul probably ain't the guy you want to emulate, with his army of assassins, is real cool. The look of Talia I thought was weird because I haven't seen this, and I thought maybe this is just a throwback to her first appearance, which it kind of is. So, because I'm just used to her looking like the, Bond villain, Bond girl type.
Yeah. Well, this is a young Talia, like it's a young Bruce, makes sense.
Yeah, and so just her look threw me for a little bit, but that's also Gia Domenico style. But I do like that it's, this is Gia Domenico's Talia that we're dealing with. So that was pretty cool.
It's the guy, it's the guy that they're going to replace that calls Ghostmaker Ghost, by the way. Just wanted to mention that.
Gotcha. Yeah, Still was his name. But also the we find out the Ghostmaker's actual name, right? Which I would love to go back through the Tynan stuff because they kind of hint at it because it's not Anton. They say it at the end.
Mr. Minkoa Khan.
There you go. Because I remember in there his name like started with like an M. There was an M sound before it got cut off at one point. So. But yeah, no.
Does this mean Batman's going to yell out "Khan" at some point?
He does. I think he will at one point.
Yeah, maybe he will.
But
yeah, so there's a lot of build up to this. At one point, Raz even stabs Bruce in a sword match. Then Bruce patches himself up. Yeah. So I mean, definitely it feels like Ghostmaker might agree with what Raz is going to do a bit more, but clearly it doesn't stick with him. So we'll see how all this resolves in the next issue.
Because the still goes and shows him this barrage of rockets.
Yeah.
And that's where we get the hint that, that Ra's al Ghul is about world peace, but, only world peace for him to be in control.
Yeah, I also wonder if he also rejects Ra's al Ghul for reasons of being too much of
right.
a villain as well, and
Right.
So I think it's interesting that this is where we're leading into with the finale, where it isn't going to come back and redo year one. I mean, maybe you'll sort of have like Bruce arriving in Gotham as the final page or something, and it's like, okay, now go read year one, because that's kind of where year one picks up.
I hope the final page is him landing on the airplane from when Alfred goes to pick him up. I think that would be cool.
That'd be a neat little touch to sort of like say, hey, you can literally pair this with year one if you want, and then go from there. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the issue. I think the issue did peak with that issue in the forest where like the standoff happens.
The marksman. Yeah.
That was the peak of the book for me. But I mean, I'm still enjoying it. I'm still enjoying it fleshing out Batman's, Bruce's like time traveling where he trained to become Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying what the concept of this book is. Ghostmaker still kind of sucks, but that's that's okay.
I appreciate like Chip's Ra's al Ghul still has this grandiosity that we haven't seen in a while, right? Because Talia's been kind of the main al Ghul for the last couple years.
It makes sense because it's early. This is back before he was even fighting Batman.
Yeah, and so I just liked him, sitting in the throne room in kind of like a meditation, surrounded by his guards. And it's a Ra's I haven't seen in a minute, so I do like that. Yeah. So no, it's fun. I'm glad I stuck with this because for that first issue was really rough, and I wasn't gonna stick with it. I ended up, and it's been a real fun ride.
No, cool. So yeah, obviously the art's the Gio Domenico is pretty consistent with what he's been doing on the book. Obviously we get to see Raz and Talia, who are a little bit different and new to the book, so we get to see how he tackles them. I would say his angular lines really work with like the beard on Raz. Like, it really gives it this kind of pointy like feel to it, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it's been an enjoyable mini. I'm kind of glad it's ending as well, though. I'm ready for it to wrap up, but it has been a good time. What are you rating the Night issue 9?
I'm gonna give this an 8.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with a 7.5 for this one. Just a little nudge down.